Morning all.
Can you all see the screen? Today, let us talk about continuous integration. What is continuous integration? We have seen that developers write the codes and make the commits on the GitHub, right? So technically, we know what is called a commit. So developers make a commit and place the code on GitHub. So whenever there's a commit, okay, I need a system which will pull the code from the GitHub, from the version control systems, and which will pull the code. So I need a system which will identify the commits. Whenever there is a commit, it should pull the code and build it, which is called continuous builds. What is meant by continuous build? What is meant by build? What is meant by building the code?
Packaging all the files.
Hmm?
Packaging all the.
Okay. Any more answers?
So keep on continuously integrating the code.
Continuous builds. Continuous build is compile plus package together is called build. What is meant by compile and package? What is meant by compiling? Converting your source code into executable, right, is called compiling. So converting the source code means .java files, whatever code you have, will be converted into .class files, executables, right? That's called compiling the code, compiling, right? So that's what is the first stage. And then all this compile code will be converted into, like, okay, let's say there were 10 .java files, 10 .class files will be generated, and all the all the class files whichever packaged will be converted into a single deployable file. Like in case of Java, like EAR file or jar file or a var file, we have seen, right? So that is called packaging, right? This process of compiling and packaging put together is called building the code, right? So a continuous builds, whenever developer places a commit, means makes a commit in the repository, it will pull the code and build the code using some build automation tools like Maven, or else there were so many build automation tools like Maven, Gradle, and so on. And okay, for .NET projects, it's Enant, Microsoft Build Engine, and so on. Whatever it is, there were so many build automation tools. Using some build automation tool, it will build. And once the builds are successful, let's say, okay, builds are successful, builds are fine. Then let's say some error. Let's suppose, okay, there is some build error. Then what they should do? Again, report to developers, right? They'll fix the code and again push the code. Whenever there is a commit, it should pull and build till the process continues, till the process is successful. Any build errors like syntax errors, runtime errors will be reported, right? If build is successful, then let's suppose, okay, build is success, there is no build error, then it will go to the next phase of continuous testing. What is this continuous testing? Automation test professionals will write the test cases, right? Automated test cases. And those test cases will be executed via the pipeline. And what if any test case failed? What if any bugs are identified? Who will fix them?
The developer.
Developers. So again, send it to developers. Developers will fix it, means make some changes, push the code again. So whenever there is a code pushed, whenever developers make a push, continuous builds. So this process keep on continuing. Okay, let's say continuous testing failed, some build errors. So it will go to this phase. Let's suppose it passed. Okay, it goes to the next phase of, okay, they were testing pass, continuous deployment. Continuous deployment, of course, to the continuous deployment to the next phases, right? Like from lower level environment to higher level environment. This process keep on continuing. Okay, so this process of continuous builds, continuous testing, continuous development, all of that is handled via a continuous integration tool called Jenkins. Okay, of course, this continuous deployment can be done with the different tools by integrating with different tools again. But this part majorly, continuous builds, continuous testing is called Jenkins. Means whenever developers writes a code, place some code here. Okay, this is a development team. Okay, they write some code. We now know what is meant by commit, right? So developers write the code and push the code on GitHub and they make some commits. So whenever they make a commit, okay, continuous builds, like they push the code to the version control systems. Whenever they push the code to version control systems, continuous builds happen. Okay, and whenever means what if you notice here, for every commit, all this process repeating, building, testing, deploying, right? So this is the continuous process happening for every commit they are doing. Means you can expect quality products, and also in a particular day this is happening multiple times. Quality, every change is going through the process, complete automation, so it is also faster, isn't it? So this is called continuous integration with Jenkins. Right. Say Jenkins is like an orchestrator or a manager. You will execute different phases via Jenkins. Like you will do the builds, testing, deployment, everything. Does it mean that Jenkins is doing all of them? Here, test cases can be written in Selenium, JUnit, UFT, JMeter, whatever it is. Okay, any automation tool, any test cases. Deployment through Docker, Kubernetes. Okay, infrastructure may be provisioned by Terraform. So at the back end, it uses the right tools. Jenkins is like an orchestrator. In a music band, you see an orchestrator. Does he play any instrument? Right, he just waves his hand, right, to which instrument should be played at what level. Same is the case. Jenkins is an orchestrator. It will choose or it will decide which tool should be played. Which tool should be used, which tool should be used at which stage, and so on. All these configurations you have to do. At the back end, Jenkins will use the right tool at the right time to perform the actual task. So via Jenkins, you will be integrating all these tools. Jenkins is a tool with which you can integrate all our DevOps tools and form the CI/CD pipeline. Understood, everyone? So in Jenkins, there'll be something like task. We'll create the task which works with a different tools. You have to create this task, a Maven task, a deployment task, a test task. So you don't write test cases. Testers will write the test cases, and once they are ready, you will automate them. Similarly, developers will write the code. Once the code is ready, you will automate this build process. Am I making sense? So this is called continuous integration. Am I good with this? Good to go?
So, Priti, so there are different environments, right? Development, QA, and pre-prod and all, right? So, how it works? It's only work for only one production link, or so even for pre-prod also the same?
You have different pipelines for every
Okay.
environment. Okay, a
Okay.
pipeline once in dev environment passes, then we'll go for the next environment and so on. That's what is a deployment happens first from lower environments to higher environments.
So if it is happening in a development environment, right? Is
Hmm.
it something like that, right? So local, whether they'll check that commit history from the local repository or in the development environment case, or how?
Development branches.
Okay, branches in the GitHub, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
So, Priti, here is no UAT phase.
You don't use
UAT means the
different
internal user.
environments. UAT will be there, different environments, dev,
Okay.
UAT, pre-prod, prod. It depends on your application, your projects, yes. You'll have separate branches for each environment. On each branch, this pipeline executes. Developers making commitments, you will configure the pipelines for dev branch, whatever branches you need, a release branch, different strategies implemented across.
Will
So
there be
basically,
different branches for different environment? Different branches are they maintaining?
Yes. And see, if dev environment it is executed, once this is successful, they'll raise a PR from dev environment to release branch. Right? If this is successful, they'll push it to other prod branches. I mean, PRs always, not direct push. PR with approval, it will be merged, and then that pipeline will be executed. Whenever the merge is successful, the pipeline would trigger. Good? All good?
so once there is a change in the development branch, right? So will it all the process continue till the production, or how's that process? No, if there is a so if you have different branches for development, QA, pre-prod, and all, right?
Mm.
So if there is a change in development branch, is there any commit happened in development branch?
Mm.
So we have different pipelines for each environment, right?
Mm.
So
So the
once a
process continues. If any change is there, the process can again the pipeline will run. Once it is successful, a PR will be raised. Once the PR is approved and merged, a merge may trigger the pipeline for the next branches, and so on. That's what is continuous. In a day, it happens multiple times in a day. That's what.
I understand for each environment, this process will continue, right? The pipeline will continue. But how is the connection between the pipeline between different environment is in sequence order, or what? Because
That's what I'm
development.
saying. Once your development branch is successful, you will raise a PR to the next branch. PR approval and merged means it will trigger that next branch to whichever it has merged. So next pipeline will start and so on. Okay,
Okay.
sometimes the prod pipeline may need manual approvals, like whether this should go for deployment. Till build stage, it may go. Next stages, it should continue. You may have also manual approvals also possible in the Jenkins file. So
Okay.
upon it, they'll decide whether it should go for deployment or not. But meanwhile, all other stages, it will go through all other stages. And the approvals can be configured if required.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, this is what is continuous integration. And if anyone have worked on traditional integration process, you could really understand and appreciate this difference. Have anyone worked on traditional integration process? Anyone here? What is traditional integration? See, traditional integration means, let's say developers write the code. Okay, it is not going to be merged immediately. After 3 months, it goes for merge and integrated into the system, right? Once the system is ready, like once the code changes are merged, once in a while this merge happens. Integration happens once in a while, like maybe once in 3 months, once in 6 months. So integration is a manual process. A separate team is there to integrate. They would sit together and do this integration process. Means these people, there is a separate team. Okay, also development lead will sit with them. They spend some sleepless nights to integrate all the code manual, because see, from past 3 months they have to integrate the code manually, means it takes lot of effort, lot of time, right? There might be some errors seen, they might come across some errors, they have to fix it. And it may be working on integration servers, again it may not be working on other servers. So many issues they used to face, manual effort, errors because it's done manually, compatibility issues, and all the things, like all compatibility issues will be identified in a single day. So yeah, it is going to be a tedious and a very hectic task, right? But now with continuous integration, it was all smooth, right? Automated, no human errors because of manual things, manual efforts. So that's how you have the continuous integration, which solve many problems. And that's possible through all this DevOps tools. Let me show you the differences. Give me a second.
So, Preeti, one more question. Sorry to interrupt. So, to have this pipeline, right? If you're following the manual test process, right? If you're not automated, the test cases, right? Then you cannot implement the DevOps, right, in your project, no?
See, to certain extent, it is already implemented. Right now, people are using Jenkins for the traditional, like SDLC method, like old methodologies also in Agile also they were using it, but only to certain extent, not with the full-fledged methodologies implemented. DevOps is a methodology, right? It's not just a integration of tools and automation. It's a methodology. There were strategies implemented there. So without using it, they were implementing. So we don't call it as a DevOps. To certain extent, yes, they were using these pipelines. Even testers are using Jenkins, right, to automate the things. But it's not up to the mark to confirm that's a DevOps strategy.
No, my question was actually for you're talking about the continuous testing, right? CT. So continuous testing means the test case should be, the automation test case should be automatically executed, right, for the new changes. But if they haven't automated the test cases, only all manual, they're following the manual test process, right? How can we, create a pipeline for the
No,
test?
automation should be there. Automation testing should be there.
Okay.
Manual testing will be there anyway for any application to stabilize, to standard the application initially, right? But later on, the automation testing should be there.
So if automation is not done for the test cases, then definitely they cannot implement this pipeline, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So what is CI process? CI is the process of automating the build and test process each time a commit is done. We have seen this as well. Right, and see here, the traditional versus continuous integration. Traditional integration, if you see, the time gap between the events are huge because once in a while they integrate it. Or maybe once in 3 months, once in 6 months, right? And risk is very high. Do you see the risk is very high? Time gap is very high. Events are very less. But if you see continuous integration multiple times a day, multiple times code is integrated and tested, right? So you can see the continuous integration risk is reduced. The number of events are more, time gap is reduced. Hope you got the difference. So integration events are less and time gap is large. That's what is mentioned here. Integration happens manually once in a while. Errors due to manual integration, time and effort consuming. And the benefits of CI? Yeah, it happens multiple times. Every change goes through the process immediately, improves the quality. It increases the velocity of integrations and thereby the deployments. So increases the productivity, reduce the risk of manual errors. Right? That's what continuous integration does. And other continuous integration tools are like CodeShape, Bamboo, TeamCity, Travis CI, and so on. These are all the different continuous integration tools. Many tools are there, but Jenkins is the clear winner in the category. Why it is the clear winner? See the graph? There is no good competitor for Jenkins, I can say. Other tools are here. This is from 2020, even till date also, you will see the similar graph. Okay, it is the clear winner because of the flexibility it has got, because of the wide range of tools it supports. Means, let me tell you, Jenkins can be integrated with many tools. And also, if you need any feature in Jenkins, you have add-ons. It's works with add-on framework. Means you can install any add-on. Let's suppose I need to work with it. I need to integrate Jenkins with Docker. You have an add-on. You have a plugin. Actually, they are called as plugins or add-ons. They will enhance and extend the functionality of Jenkins. Right? Like, let's suppose we need something like, see, if you need anything, you will install an app in your mobile, right? Similar to that, you need any functionality, you want to extend some functionality, or if you need something else, you will install a plugin. There were thousands of plugins available. They were all open source. You can install a plugin. You can also develop your own plugin if you have a very good programming skills, and custom plugins are also supported. So generally, all the plugins available will do. So overall, Jenkins is an open source tool. It's basically a Java application. Means it is developed in Java. Okay, it doesn't mean that you have to know Java to use Jenkins. It's just an application developed in Java, and you can use this to build any sort of applications, be it .NET, be it whatever it is. Right? It's an open source. It supports. It has good plugin support. It has got good community support. Right? Works on multiple operating system. It works with Windows, Linux, Mac, and so on, because it's a Java application. You know, Java works with multiple OS, right? So it has got a good community support, like as it is Java application. Easy to set up. It's very simple to set up and upgrade. Distributed team management. Distributed team management means if you have a team of DevOps team, right? Let's say you have a DevOps team of 6 people. You can access, means you can restrict their access. You can have their access controls. You can provide their access with restrictions. All of that possible. A good user management is possible through, that's what is distributed. We'll see all of those things, right? Those are some of the features of Jenkins which makes it so famous. Yeah, from here hands-on begins. Jenkins has got a great UI. Majority of the things we'll be doing from the UI. And of course, pipelines will be done through the script. Anyway, so let's get started. Let us install Jenkins. Good to go. You can ask me any questions. Meanwhile, I'm connecting to the server. See, I'm using the same server which we are using till now.
So Preeti, this continuous integration is part of continuous build. I mean, automating the build and automating the testing cases. These two part combines together called as continuous integration, right?
Continuous builds and continuous testing together called as continuous integration.
Yeah, CD deployment part it separates, right,
Yes.
from the integration.
Yes. So I become a root user. Now let us install Jenkins. See, always any tool, go to official document. Don't save the links. Don't follow the links blindly. Okay, you have all the links available anyway in the drive. You have the commands also there, but this is the process. Go to Google and search Jenkins download. Go to the official website, jenkins.io. Here you will see download Jenkins, scroll down. See, like I said, Jenkins can be installed on multiple operating systems. Like you can have it as a Docker container, you can install it on Kubernetes, Windows, Linux, different distributions of Linux like Debian, OpenSUSE, and so on. You choose according to your distribution. How do you know what is your distribution? I have shown you in the beginning. etc OS release. There is a file called etc OS release. Okay. Here you will see that Amazon Linux to CentOS based. It is CentOS Red Hat based systems. So which one you should go for? This one. And copy these commands. It's about downloading the Jenkins repository file. What is a Jenkins repository file? If you go to
You can also have some repo.
yum.repositories. Okay, whenever you have the system, some yum repositories are configured. What is a yum, by the way?
It's for installing the packages.
Package manager for Linux, CentOS or Red Hat based Linux distributions. These package managers differs from distributions. Linux distributions, there were so many Linux distributions like you have versions in Windows. Okay, like CentOS, Red Hat, Debian and so on. For CentOS, Red Hat based, yum is the package manager. So when you say yum install, it's downloading package. From where it is downloading? So yum repositories by default are configured here. See, these are the yum repository files. See, some URLs from where packages has to be downloaded, all of this configured in this path in some files by default. Now I want to install Jenkins, but Jenkins is not available in this by default. So you can create a repository file. See, wget means download from the URL. What you will download? Download this file called jenkins.repo from the URL and place it in this path as jenkins.repo. That's the meaning of it. wget is to download anything from a URL. We have already used this command. You download it and put that O means output in this path. This path is nothing but this one, this one. So it will create a repo file. Now do ls. Yes. Do you see that? So it will have all the paths from where it has to be downloaded from here. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing is key to download, key to use that Jenkins. Okay, and then install Java. Java is a prerequisite to run Jenkins because it's a Java-based application. It is also giving you command to install Java. Install it. It says no package. This package is not found, it's saying. This it was installed in two packages, some font config and this one, but it says this is not available. Let's go with Java 11. Any version is fine. Go with Java 11. Java 11 also it's saying it's not available, but it's available in Amazon packages. And it's saying use this command. So now you get Java installed. Give Y to confirm. Okay, and then it's asking to install this. Okay, so it is installed. So you can start Jenkins. Systemctl start Jenkins. And Jenkins default port is 8080. Once it is started, we can launch it from the browser. Okay.
Do we need to execute this install command in the post.d that directory in the root
No,
folder?
not required. Directory is not required. You can
Okay.
run it from anywhere. And see it's running and you see the process ID is 13171. If you want, you can check this way. Netstat minus lntup 13171. 5 grep. Okay, you see here it runs on port 8080. Now let's go to the machine. Add this port in the security rules. Edit the inbound rules. 8080 is already added. So I think we have installed something some time back, Tomcat, but it is stopped now. So it's available now.
The clear one doubt. The
Mm.
port 880 was used by Tomcat, right? If it is not disabled and we install this Jenkins. Okay. This also use 880, right? Then it will be
Tomcat
conflict,
is
right?
not running. Now
Okay.
Tomcat is not.
If it is running, then it will
It will
take
give you
automatic
error.
while installing, or
Now when you are starting, it will give error.
okay. So that time you have to uninstall you have to stop the Tomcat. Oh, or we can change the port.
You have to stop the Tomcat, okay, and
Okay.
start it on a different port, or else you can start Jenkins on a different port. How to start on different ports I have shown you, right?
Yeah.
So you have to launch it on a different port. Oh, I did not give port number or what?
You have given 80 only. You have given the 80.
Okay, but give me 1 second. Okay, so when you launch it for the first time, your Jenkins will be locked. Okay, you have to unlock it. See, I'm accessing it from the browser, but where is it running actually? Where is Jenkins running? Is it running on my Windows machine?
Linux VM.
Linux.
Right here on the EC2 instance, it's running. And you have to remember two things. Whenever you install Jenkins, var lib Jenkins. This is the home directory of Jenkins. Okay, this is called home directory, means all the Jenkins configurations stays here. Now here, if you go, there is something called secrets. This is the initial admin password. This is the password used to unlock Jenkins. Okay, this happens only for the first time. See, that's what is given here. Do you see? That's what it's saying. Var lib Jenkins secrets initial password. Okay. So give the password to this is only one time task, only for the first time of launching. So you have unlocked it, and then it says customize Jenkins. Customize Jenkins means you can install the plugins. Which plugins? You can go with suggested plugins, means more widely used plugins, or else you can install plugins whatever you need. I would tell you to go with this, because more widely used plugins will be installed. This is again only for the first time, only once. Only for the first time of launching Jenkins. Then how do you install if you need any plugins? Yes, you can install later also after login. Okay, but in the beginning, it will ask you if you need any plugins to get started with. You can go with more widely used plugins. Later on, if you need anything else, you can again install after login. But this kind of customizing you will get for the first time. So I'm going with this. Like I said, plugins extends the Jenkins with additional features. So let us install some suggested plugins. See, whatever changes you do here will be reflected in here. See, there is a directory called secrets, plugins. See, here are the plugins. It may take a couple of minutes, but the just one time task. See, it is installing. As it keep on increasing, here you can see. Do you see that? Right? 55 plugins, 57 plugins, 59 plugins. Do you see that? 63. Right, you can see all the plugins getting installed here. let it install, and here, yeah. Okay, basically you understand here, like whatever changes we do, whatever configurations, anything will be available in this working directory. See, 131 plugins. Okay, so all of these configurations are updated in this home directory. So when you want to take Jenkins backup, this is the path you take backup of var lib Jenkins. Yeah, it's almost on here. You can see GitHub branch source, SSH build plugin. Okay, all the plugins, SSH build agents, email extensions, everything you have. And the admin user. Okay, admin user you can create. It's asking to create admin user. You may give any name. Okay, you may give your own name or anything. I'm giving here name as admin itself. So you will log in with this as a default user. Save and continue. So it is asking it will be launched on this URL. Yes. Start using Jenkins. You can start using Jenkins. Jenkins is ready. Okay, this is your dashboard. Okay, so this is your welcome page or the dashboard. Okay. Now here you can create.
Preeti, can you show that the security rule that we added as part of this, installing Jenkins? So you added one more rule, right?
No, the same rule 8080 port I have added.
Okay, same.
Same. Okay, so this is your welcome page or the dashboard. Setting up of Jenkins is very simple. You can set it up in multiple ways. We'll also see setting it up in a Docker container. We'll also do that as we progress. Now, yeah, you can install this Jenkins on Linux, in your laptop directly, also in Windows or on Mac, also fine. But install it on EC2 instances. Okay, that would be the better option. So yeah, once it is done, we see here, and let's talk about something called task. We were talking about a job in Jenkins, a task in Jenkins, right? What is this task or a job in Jenkins? Isn't it? What is this all about? So this is nothing but with which it means you can create any sort of job. It might be a build job, a test job, a deployment job. It might be a code review job, whatever, anything you can create. So first, let me introduce with the job. See here, you see new item. This is nothing but a job. New item or a job or a project. These words are used interchangeable in Jenkins. Give some name. I'm just giving a sample name. Freestyle is flexible enough to create any sort of job. There are different types of jobs which we'll discuss as we progress. So for now, freestyle project. There'll be again different sections here. Do you see general, source code management, and so on? Again, we will talk about all of this. First, let's now go for build steps. Okay, here you can see a build step like execute shell. Let's say I just want to execute some shell commands because I did not learn any other tools like maven or anything. So I'm just going with shell, which will print some message. Okay, that's all. A simple echo command. Save it. Okay, done. My job is created. How do you execute it? Click on build now. Okay, when you click on build now, see you can see here build number 1. Right? You see that is successful. Successful means the job is about printing some command, means executing some shell command. Right? Here that's the job. The task is to execute some shell command. You can run this any number of times. This is stored. Now you build now means not building the code, run here, run the job, execute the job. Now here, if you see the console output, right, started by user admin. I'm logged as an admin. I started the job. So it shows the workspace. We'll talk about workspace in some time. So this is the output. Now here you have to understand two things. Where is this job executed? Means on which machine is this job being executed?
Linux.
On the same server where Jenkins is installed, it's executing for now. Correct? On the same Jenkins server. So that's the first thing you have to note. Second thing, which tool or which program is used to execute this?
Shell.
Shell script, right? It's using some shell script to execute this. It's using some shell script or shell commands to execute. Means like a bash. Means it is same as like how you do it here on the command line. Shell program of this server is used, right? Means the point to note here is it's been executed on the same server where Jenkins is running, and it's been executed by the shell program on the server. It's not been executed by Jenkins or some other tool or Java. No. Jenkins is just helping you manage this job. That's all. Jenkins will not do anything. It will help you manage the job. Similarly, you may create your deploy job, your build jobs, your test jobs, and so on. Making sense? Let me create another job. Okay, again, I'm going with the build steps. Let's say I want to execute some simple command called date command. And also, I would like to put this output into some file under TMP folder, let's say date.txt. And then also some echo command. Again, some shell script, right? Yeah, I'm saving it. Where this file will be created on which machine?
EC2, same wherever we install.
Same, right? To confirm the things, I'm doing this. Here, do we have date.txt? Right? No file. Now let's run the job. Date command will give you, it's a Linux command, it will give you the server date. So console output. It says it is executed and echo command output. Where is the output of it?
In that path cd temp.
See, now the file is there. Right? Who created this file? Shell command executed via Jenkins created it. Jenkins does not create. Shell command, shell script in the Jenkins job created it. Right? Hope you all got the point. This is very important to understand where it is running, like which program or how it is being executed. Second one, also successful. So they'll all be appended because I have used double arrows. Right? Server time is in UTC, so it shows the same. Are we?
The text file which you wrote, that file where it is going to store. Execution is bad, but the file
Execution?
execution is taken care by bash shell. But you have written date command and hi. Okay, that text where it is written, where it is stored.
Here it is stored.
No, execution is fine.
Execution is, what do you mean by execution?
The date execution from the bash shell is fine. I got that one. But you have written 2 lines of code, right? I and date. That those two text where it is going to store. See, usually to execute these two text, these 2 lines where it is storing.
Where it is stored?
Yes.
They will be stored in the workspace. A temporary file will be stored. Workspace means every job, whenever you have it, you will have this file. Okay, a temporary script file will be stored there and it will be executed.
So those files can be able
See,
to
this one, no, you can't see. Temporary script file executed by binsh.
So before going to bash, it is storing in temporary. But before temporary, it has to store somewhere else, right?
It will not store anywhere. It will execute whatever you write here in the console.
Even if it is 100 lines of lines, same procedure.
If you write here, same procedure. If you write it here, same procedure. If you are writing your 100 lines here, same procedure. But if it is 100 lines and all, we will not use this way. We have many other ways to call the script files.
That is what is it? Pipeline.
That is not called pipeline, but that's another way to execute shell script. Pipeline is different. Like we have created multiple jobs like job 1, job 2. This job 1 might be a build job. Okay, here we created some shell script jobs, but this might be your build job. Okay, this might be your test job. You might have your deploy job and so on. Okay, and also these jobs can be connected in such a way that once build is done, it will trigger test. Once this is done, it will deploy. You can also connect them, but as of now, those are individual, independent jobs. But this is how you can create the actual jobs and create this pipelines. Am I clear till this part, everyone? Understood?
How to call the shell script?
Like we
Any
called here, right? That's
Uh,
what our job is.
in this case, can
Job.
you link job 1 to job 2?
We can link, but here I am not linking. I'll link with the actual jobs once we start. You can link them. That's what I'm saying. These are like your some build jobs, test jobs, which you can connect and form the pipeline.
So you are going to show us how to link the
Yes.
jobs. Okay.
Any more queries? So these are the sample jobs, okay, or else a demo jobs kind of thing, just to show you how a job looks like. Okay, and also where it is running and which programs are executing, just to give you some idea. We are going to create actual jobs and we are going to form the pipelines. But before getting into the actual jobs, there are few things which one should know. Okay, something like user management in Jenkins. And all of those comes under manage Jenkins part. Okay, go to manage Jenkins. Here all the administrative task comes in. And here you can see something like security, right? If you go for security, secure Jenkins, define who is allowed to access what. Okay, those can be defined here. That's what is distributed team management. And here you can use some Jenkins own user database, means Jenkins application users we are using. You may connect it with LDAP, Active Directories, Unix groups. You can do that as well. As of now, we were using Jenkins own user database, and that's a security rule. And authorization is logged in users can do anything. Means if you have this username and password, anyone can do anything, which is not the appropriate or the apt authorization strategy in real world. You have different authorization strategies. One is called matrix-based authorization strategy. Here you will add different users and give the permissions. But before that, let me create few users. Like I said, we are using Jenkins own user database. We have this option, create users. Let me create a user called user1, password, user1, confirm password, full name, email ID. Okay, so I created one user. I'm creating one more user just to test the different strategies. User 2. You may give your own names for them. Okay, I created a couple of users. Now go to manage Jenkins, again security. Here, let's choose matrix based. So matrix opens here. I'm adding admin. If you have groups, if you create some user base from Active Directories or LDAP or some Linux user groups, you can also add the group. I want to make him admin. I just gave all the permissions. User one. See, here in Jenkins, it's very easy to use. You don't need to learn. There are so many options, so many permissions. You don't need to learn all of them. If you keep the cursor, you understand what it does. See here, administer. This permission grants the ability to make system-wide configuration changes. Okay, it gives you all these permissions. User one only all read. Overall read means he can first access the dashboard. And job permissions also, I would like to give only read. Because let's say user one is a junior or a newbie to the project, I want to give him only read permissions of the job. Means he can only view the job. He cannot build, create, and so on. User two also. First, overall read should be there for everyone. But for him, I want to give build, cancel. Maybe he's a senior member in the project. He has all permissions. Understood this matrix, everyone? Now we'll test them. User one should have only read. User two should have all permissions across the jobs. Can I save this? Apply will save and you will stay on the same page. If I click save, you'll be navigated off from the page. Good to go?
Yeah.
Let me log out as admin. Log in as user one. He has only read. See, some of the options here, admin options like manage Jenkins, create job are gone. Also, see, he don't have build or edit, nothing. He can just check the console output. That's all. That's called view permissions. He can just check the console output. That's it. Okay. And let's go to user two. See, he even don't have manage option, manage admin, manage Jenkins, but he has create a job. And also, if we go here, see, build, configure means edit, delete, rename the job, everything he has got. Correct? Right? These are the permissions of user two. Means what is happening here? You can restrict which user can you access what. Right? If you take up this, let's say user one. User one, user two. We are having different jobs. Job one, job two. Okay, user one has got all permissions here. Sorry, user one has got only read permissions, right? Read. Here also read. Here it has got all permissions. This is possible through matrix-based authorization strategy. Understood this strategy, everyone? A particular user can have these permissions across the job. And if you notice here, every user is having same permissions across all the jobs. Like user one is having read across all the jobs, user two is having all across all the jobs. What if I want a particular user to have different permissions across different jobs? Means there are different strategies implemented. Okay, project-based. There comes a project-based authorization strategy. Project-based authorization strategy is nothing but this user may have, let's say user one. Okay, let's suppose this the build job. Okay, this is test job, for example. Okay, some projects, okay, the person with a development background or else a developer might be taking care of it. Okay, and other jobs he has only read. And user one has got read here, user two, he has all here. Means user two might be a tester. Sometimes those jobs may be assigned to the respective teams. It depends on the project, organization, and the strategies they were implementing. Depending on the expertise, jobs may be assigned sometimes to the different teams. Understood this strategy, everyone? A particular user can have different permissions across different jobs. That is called project-based authorization strategy. Am I clear?
So project based is widely used, right? Because that is what requires.
There is one more we have called role-based access control. This is the one which is widely used. Okay, good to go. Shall we demonstrate on project-based? Let's see how this works. Now let's go to manage Jenkins, again security. Here we are using matrix based. Now let's go for project based. Add the users like we did before. Admin, again, user one. User two. Okay, now admin, I'm giving all permissions. Read permissions for any user, even on the job, read permissions. Then how come you restrict or define the job specific permissions? Those will be defined under each job. Means go to job one. Configure is edit, modify. So now in the general section, there is an option called enable project-based security. Okay, here is the matrix where you should give the permissions actually. Okay, I added all the users, admin, I'm giving all permissions. And let's say user one should have all permissions on this job. Job one, user one, okay. User two need only read on this. That's all. Okay, see here, done. Now let's go to job two. Here, let's give vice versa. User one. User two. Let me give admin. For user one only have read and everyone else have all the permissions. So give him all the permissions. Okay. Right now, let's log out and log in as each user. Log in as user one. If user one goes to job one, see he has got all permissions. Same user, if he goes to job two, he has only limited permissions. Got it right, all of you?
So on the Jenkins level, we need to give read, and then each job level we need to give the CI/CD permission, right?
Yeah. So this is called project-based authorization strategy. Project-based means job-based. It's not that every user will have same permissions on all jobs. Okay, each user may have different permissions across different jobs. That's possible through project-based. If user two goes to job two, he has got all permissions. If he go to job one, he don't have. Right? So this is a strategy implemented in certain projects where permissions may be assigned depending on the role or else depending on their expertise. Okay, so this is project based, but this project based again can be enhanced further, meaning, okay, we are giving job specific permissions, which is good, but there might be a team of people who need those same job specific permissions. Let's say there's a development team. Development team needs only build permissions, right? Means build specific jobs. So there might be multiple developers, right? So how do you do that? Or how can we make it better depending on their roles, depending on their expertise? Okay, that's where role-based access control comes in. This is the one which is used in reality. So any questions before we go to the third strategy? See here, everything, tell me.
So Priti, for Jenkins job and all, right, it should be set up by the DevOps person, right?
Hmm.
So what is the role for a developer and tester here?
DevOps pipelines are created in different ways in different projects and different companies. In some projects, build jobs may be created by developers. Maybe there were also strategies there, or else even DevOps person created, developers have to look into these jobs. They have to also check the console output. They may need certain permissions on them. Here, that's what team collaboration comes in here. Everyone will have access to these pipelines, including developers, everyone. Who creates it, it depends. Generally, it should be created by DevOps person, but there are also projects where developers will be creating the pipeline. Right? Developers or handle themselves their pipelines. They are called as DevOps team as well. So there are different strategies implemented across different companies. And yeah, even though you create the pipeline, whoever may create the pipeline, but it will be shared across multiple teams. So what level of permissions each team should have, that's what we are talking about.
Okay.
And now go to manage Jenkins. Again, security. I need role-based access control strategy. But I'm not seeing it. What should I do? I need a new feature, new functionality. What should we do? Here you can see plugins. Yeah, plugins will enhance, extend the Jenkins functionality. They'll help you to add, remove, disable, or enable plugins. Okay, go here. Available plugins means all the hundreds of plugins available. You don't need to learn it. Search here like I need something called role-based. See, it comes up. You have also documentation for it. You can also go for the plugin documentation, how to use it. See, once you install this plugin, you will see this option, how to configure the roles. So many examples were there. Okay, so first select and install. It is installing. Once it is done, so successful, you will see an option there. You will see an option under security. See, role-based strategy. Now it came up. Just save it, select and save it. That's all. Then how do you give the role? See, now you see this new option. Do you see that earlier we don't have it? Manage and assign the roles. Okay, here you can assign the roles. Here you can create the roles first. General role, already admin role is there. You may create something called employee. Okay, employee should have overall read. He should not have administer. So that's all. These are global roles. Item roles also you can create. Means items means jobs. Meaning, depending on your job names, you can create certain pattern. Let's say developer. He should have all the permissions to all development related jobs. Let's suppose I'll create some job as dev compile. Okay. Something like that. And let me also create something related to test job, like test execution kind of, or else test code compilation task. Okay. So I have few things like this. Now, pattern means, let's say jobs belonging to certain project may be started with certain prefix kind of. So you can use here while characters and all, use some regular expressions to match the patterns. Dev dot star I'll put. Dev dot star means so if you click this pattern, see, it is matching with this. Means if developer here, whatever permissions you have, whoever are developers will have all those permissions on this job. Okay, let me choose all of this. Okay. So let me choose all of this now. Save it. Right. Similarly, I'll add one more role, tester role. And pattern is whichever starts with test. Some prefix or suffix, some unique pattern you'll have, right? So when you click this, it will show what role it is matching. Let's say tester should have all permissions on this. But okay. Okay. So, but how do you decide who is a developer, who is a tester? That is done, assign the role. We have created the roles. We have created global roles, item roles. Now assign the roles. Okay, here admin is already there. Let me add employee. That's another global role. He should, he's an employee. Sorry, here the roles are already there. Sorry, see here, you assign the users to them. Admin is a user I have created. Similarly, user 1. Let me add user 2. These are not admins, these are employees. Generally, one person will give an admin access, a senior member or lead. Okay, others all will be employees. So fine. What about item roles? Here also, see already, do you see here? Here dev and roles are there. You add the users. Okay, so developer, user 1 is a developer, user 2 tester. Right? Clear everyone? Are we good? That's how you create the roles, global roles, item roles, agent roles also you can create. Agents means remote machines. We'll talk about this later. For now, these are the roles. You create a role and assign the user to those roles. Now, user 1 is a developer and he's an employee. So he will have overall read, and whichever jobs are filtered or starting with dev, he will have all permissions on those. Got the pattern, everyone?
Yes.
Which one will override whether that initially you're giving a global role, right, for employee, so have his particular access. So after that, you're putting a item role, no?
Employee has overall read only.
Okay.
Means he can just see the dashboard. So for all these permissions, they should have read, right? That's a minimum permissions every employee will have.
Okay.
And then job specific permissions. Now user 1 is a developer or tester?
Developer.
Developer. So if you log in as user 1, see, he says only this job and also on permissions on that job because he's assigned a role as developer. And I have assigned tester role to user 2. So he can see only this one starting with test job and he has all permissions. Got it? You can further refine it to any level. Means you can, like here we have, okay. Let's say developer means he is a developer and he has got. Let's say there might be developer read only. Means he's a developer, but he's a junior developer. Okay, he can see all of them. But sorry, here not added. Okay. Dev read. Okay. Pattern, he should see all of this. Okay, add it. But he should see only, he has only read. Am I making sense? Here, this dev means dev admin, let's say dev senior, dev read, sorry, dev admin permission. This is test admin. Similarly, test read. Following? Yes?
Yes.
Not
So
add.
what access user has on the global on the when you give employee permission, what access he has on the
He can
Jenkins?
see the dashboard first. He can visualize the dashboard first.
To read the Jenkins dashboard itself, he requires read, right?
Yes, overall
After
read
that,
should,
job
he
level.
should see the job, right? He should see the dashboard first. Is this matrix clear, everyone? Now you may have user 3, user 4. They are juniors. Dev read means dev projects only he will see, but only he can read. Test read means test jobs only he will see, starting with the test, but he will see only read. That's how you can define so many roles and further refine the permissions. Got it?
Let's see one doubt.
Mm.
If you give the global
See,
full permission to the end user, it will be reflected to other roles also.
No, role-based access control means you should give permissions to the roles. Okay, first you create different roles like dev admin. Dev admin means he can do anything with the dev projects. Dev read, only read permissions on it. First you define the roles, give the permissions here. You are not giving permissions to the users. You are defining their roles. Then assigning the users to the roles. Here you are not giving permissions to the user. You are assigning the role to the user. Role is having permissions. Correct?
Okay. Yeah, I got it. And one more thing, like suppose user one has full access, like admin to the global. So if it is not added to the particular group, like dev and that role base. So if he has admin rights, he can edit own and he can take access, right? Like he can add himself like to particular
If
group.
this admin is a user I have, okay, admin name
Uh,
itself is admin. If you give
okay.
this, he has all permissions. Yes, you
Globally,
want to give overall global permission. Yes, he has every permission, right? So
yeah.
you want to make employees also as such, do this then.
Then he only change. He can change the role and he can.
You can through this matrix is editable, right?
Yeah.
We are editing it. If you want give permissions on the credential store, what is credential store you can add it, run permissions, view SCM permissions, and so on. You can edit at any point of time. That's what is role-based access control. This is the one which is widely used.
Hybrid. His admin is a DevOps person.
Admin is a? I didn't get your question.
DevOps. Yeah, admin is a DevOps person or what?
The admin might be generally as a DevOps lead or DevOps senior member who will configure these permissions. So this is about user management. Okay, there is something like automated triggers as well. We shall take up that tomorrow, and then we'll talk about the actual jobs in the next class. Any more questions from anyone?
Yeah, Preeti, where is option to restart Jenkins in this
Restart Jenkins, you can do from the CLI systems. You
CLM?
can restart Jenkins.
So in this case, service account, is it possible
What is service account?
to automate some of the job? There should be some user, right?
That's what these users are.
This
To
is for
automate the jobs, you don't have users. Okay, you don't automate the job. When you are automating the build, it is not an user trigger. It will be a build, a timer triggered or poll SCM triggers. It will not be triggered by user. No service account concept in Jenkins. It's a concept in Kubernetes.
okay. So no service. So jobs will be triggered according to time.
That's
Events,
what is build
events
triggers,
are time.
automated build triggers.
Okay, events are time. Events will it be included or how?
Events also and also timer also. Like you can trigger it depending on the event or depending on the timer as well. We will look into all of those types in the next class.
Okay.
Please do the hands-on, okay? It is everything from the UI, whatever we did today. So you all can do the hands-on very easily. If you even have some pending things from previous classes, put them on hold and get started with this and complete till whatever we have done today.
So
Tomorrow,
Preeti,
pick up automated build triggers. Tell me, please. Yeah.
Preeti have installed a web server and I did a hands-on. It's working fine. But for Tomcat server, right? When I copied that, the WAR file from the Google, right, to the web apps folder. So it's not getting loaded actually. So
Loaded means?
loaded in the sense it's not displayed, right? That message, right? It's not getting message. When I'm clicking on that 8080 and pointing the endpoint, the sample, right?
Mm.
So
Have
not
you
getting.
seen that is the WAR file extracted to a folder in the web apps?
Yes, web apps it's there, but not the folder. It's only the file only getting copied.
WAR
It's
file
only
is copied. Whenever you copy WAR file, beside that you should see folder like sample folder created
no,
automatically.
it is not there. That's a difference
You
between
have
what
to
I
then
noticed.
restart your Tomcat. Restart your
Oh,
Tomcat after this deployment, it should extract.
okay, thank you.
Systemctl restart Tomcat.
Okay.
Any more questions? All right, then we'll continue from here tomorrow. Thank you all. Good day, everyone. See you tomorrow. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.